Hey guys, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something that I haven't done in a really long time, and that is a book review. I don't know what was my last book review, but I think the past year I've mostly talked about books in my wrap-ups. And I want to change that. I want to at least do a book review every couple of months at least. And I know that in my wrap-ups I try to explain my feelings as much as I can, but I want to keep it spoiler free, you know, so I can talk about the books a lot. So I've looked at the books that I've read this year. I want to do a book review of Our Year of Maybe, and I've talked about this in my summer wrap-up, and I have a few things to say. In my summer wrap-up, I told you guys, I believe, that I wasn't a huge fan of this book. I'm glad how it ended, but it's about these two people that were friends since, you know, they were kids. And one of them, the boy, has kidney problems, I believe, and she helps him. She gives him her kidney, and they're basically inseparable, but once the transplant happens, he starts to live, you know, his life, and she, even though her health was perfect, she never actually lived her life because she was always with him. And there's this change, and they're trying to adapt to this change, and you know, their friendship has some problems. That's basically the plot. There's also representation in here of the LGBTQ plus community, and my thoughts overall, before I go into some things more spoilery, you know, are that I think I gave this one 3 or 2.5 stars. I think I put 3 on Goodreads. I guess I know these things really happen in real life, but I don't like it when a girl stops doing what she loves, or, you know, decides to not do certain things because of a boy. But I just can't believe not doing something I love because I might go out with him. They were two very frustrating characters. She was obsessed with him. The plot, well, nothing actually really happened. It was just how their relationship evolved during, I think, a year. And of course the title is Our Year of Maybe, so a year. Let's go into spoilers. So if you do not want to be spoiled, please leave. If you don't care, stay. If you've read this book, stay. Let's talk about it. But yeah, let's talk about it. So Sophie, as I said, is obsessed with this kid. She is very attached to him, and once he had his transplant, he wanted to start to live his life, you know. He wanted to go out with other people. He found other friends. He started playing in a band because he plays the keyboard, I think, the piano. She loves to dance. They used to, you know, play and dance together, but now he's meeting other people. He wants to have other friends as well, and she's not having it. She is not having it. They started out as best friends, and she was always with him, always, since the beginning. I guess she didn't live her life as well. She always said no to going out with other, you know, other girls, to parties, because she wanted to spend her weekends with him, watching a movie and all that. But that obviously didn't do good for her, because once the transplant happened, she didn't know what to do. There's also all this romantic situation. Peter, once they were, I think, in middle school, really liked her, but she didn't reciprocate. So she refused him in that way. But now in high school, she is absolutely in love with him, and he doesn't want her anymore. We discover that he is bisexual. They do end up, you know, kissing and having sex. And while all that happened, I was like, oh my god, you're gonna make your relationship even worse. It was so frustrating. Both of them were very frustrating. they were confused as, and I know that these things happen. I'm saying that again. I know things like this happen, but it just makes me frustrated. I do not want to read about it, I've discovered, because it makes me frustrated as well. She also said, Sophie, that he is her passion. How a person can be a passion? I don't think that's healthy at all. As the months go by, she starts to realize that maybe he should have other interests, other people in his life. But at the same time, she's still very deluded, and she keeps refusing other girls, from her dance team, invitations, because she thinks that she is going to spend her days, her nights with him, but he actually goes out with his bandmates and doesn't really think about Sophie. For a while, he really doesn't think about her as much as she is thinking about him, and she really, really is hurt. She's very hurt about this. A very frustrating story for me, because there's this back and forth, I love you, and he's like, I don't, but you gave me this kidney, and I can't, just leave you. I don't want to, but I do need to have some other people in my life. And a circle again. He goes out with his friends. She is very offended. He feels guilty, but at the same time he just can't, and all that. You get it. It's frustrating. Let's talk about the sister. So Sophie has this sister called Tabby. She is younger than her, I think by a year, but she already has a kid, and she seems older than Sophie. And I guess that's normal, because once you've become a mother, you have to change, you have to mature yourself in a way, I guess. And their relationship was very bad. It was shit. And I like that slowly, as the story went by, they got closer, and by the end of this book they actually have a relationship. I like that. I think that's the best part of this book for me. But yeah, I also like how it wrapped up. I mean, I was thinking while I was reading this book, how is this author gonna wrap this mess up? But at the end, they've accepted that the situation has changed and that their life has changed. They're not as friends as before, but they're friendly, and it's bittersweet. But these things happen. It happened to me, and maybe that's the reason why I don't really want to read about it. Friendships end. Even long-term relationships, because of some misunderstanding. Something happens and click, everything crumbles and you can't turn back. Things like this happen all the time, and there's no need to be angry with one another. At the end, peace and love, we're all good, but the relationship will never be the same. And let me know if you know what I mean. Let's talk about the male love interest of Peter. Let me see if I've written down his name. I think I didn't. Yeah, but Peter's bisexual. He's been seeing this guy in his band. Sophie went to his rehearsals, I think, in his show, and one time she fell sick because of the transplant. I don't know what was going on there, but she fell sick, and Peter didn't want to leave her side. And I understand that. He really didn't. He was actually getting mad. Like, we have to play, dude. You can't stay with... But she is literally on the floor in pain. He can't leave her after all she's done for him. So, understand that. You have to understand that. He was like, is she always gonna come first? Like, come on. It's not the time to talk about this, honestly. So then they actually have sex after Peter and his boyfriend fight for this reason. He goes to Sophie and they have sex, and the next day he is regretting it. Like, he is so regretting it. And she is over the moon, like, she's so happy. but they end up fighting too because he really doesn't want to stay with her, and she is very deluded. She's already thinking that they're going to get married or something, but no. I'm going to tell you guys a quote that Sophie says. There's no way, not after all these years, not after I finally got what I wanted. I mean, other people may relate and enjoy this story. I can relate in some level, but it was so frustrating that I didn't actually really enjoy it. And yeah, those I think are my overall thoughts about this. I like how it ended up, and you know, she wrapped it up well. Thank goodness she moved on. I liked the relationship with her sister has, you know, it become better as the book went by, as the year went by. But yeah, overall, frustrating situation, frustrating characters, very realistic, but yeah, not for me. Let me know what you think about this book if you read it, and I want to do more book reviews in the future, especially about books that really make me angry and frustrated and have a lot of thoughts about them. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!